Hi, thanks for watching this video. And if you are watching this video, it means that somebody you know knows us, thought that whatever you're facing, we might be able to help you with. And so they've referred you to us. Now, the funny thing about that is, although they like us and although they work with us, whatever you're facing may not be what we helped them with. So because clients are as different as they are different, we wanted to take a minute and show you a little video that talks about who we are, what our philosophy is, and how we operate. Because if that meshes, if this is really what you need, then you'll be able to figure that out pretty quickly. So let me take you through a quick uh, PowerPoint. Here we go. And define some of the differences between the kinds of services that are offered by firms like ours. You might prefer a service who works for you, or you might prefer a service that works with you. And those two things are very different, and they're very important for you to consider. Another one could be the fact that you might prefer a firm that reports a tax outcome when it comes to tax and accounting. They're just reporting what you've created. Or you may prefer a firm who likes creating a tax outcome with you and reporting it. You might prefer a firm that likes the question, can I write off my dog? Or a firm that likes the question, how can I write off my dog? And to be honest with you, in that regard, we're a firm who likes to work with our clients. We're a firm that likes to create a tax outcome, and that's different than a once a year conversation where you've already got all the numbers and we see you in March and we report what you did, as opposed to a firm that works with you throughout the year to create the numbers that we're going to report next March. We prefer the creation side of life. And we prefer the question, how can I write off my dog? Not can I write off my dog? Because if you've already done something, there's very little we can do to help you to do it in the best possible way. And our goal always is the best tax outcome for you. And that isn't necessarily the lowest tax, it's the best tax outcome. So the other big difference between how we work with clients and how other firms work with clients is we work with firms and individuals on two different bases, either on an advantage basis or a compliance basis. And what that really refers to is how we bill those people for what we do. Let's define that. Compliance clients pay us for the services we provide as we provide them. It's very transactional. If we do something for you, you pay us for it. And what would that be? Well, in most tax and accounting firms, we would do tax prep and filing for you. You would pay us for that. If you got an IRS or an FTB letter and we helped you answer it, then we would bill you for that. If in the summertime you needed a tax projection to understand how this year was looking as compared to last year or maybe next year, with that, that's a separate billing engagement. If you're selling your house, if you're changing jobs, if you're looking at a PPP loan or an EIDL loan, all those types of things are all very transactional. It's an engagement where we're going to attack a very specific problem and we are going to bill you for it. Now, the compliance client is different than the advantage client. The advantage client in our firm pays us a flat monthly fee for year-round help achieving their financial goals. So what does that mean? How does that actually come together and translate? Well, an advantage client, when we do their tax prep and filing, that's included in the fee they're already paying us, in the program they're already in. If they get an IRS letter, that's included. Our help to answer that letter is included in the fee they're already paying. If they need a tax projection or multiple tax projections throughout the year as the year evolves, if they're selling their house, if they're moving to Idaho, if they're changing jobs, if they're going from being an Uber driver on a 1099 to an Uber driver on a W-2, any of those kinds of things. If their firm is looking to apply for a PPP loan or an EIDL loan, any of those kinds of things, all of that is included in that monthly fee. So recognize that compliance clients pay us for the services we provide as we provide them. So when they call, there is a new billing engagement beginning at that point, and Advantage clients pay us a flat monthly fee year round to help them achieve their financial goals. The goal for both clients is the same: the best tax outcome. That's what we're looking for always. And we're always looking for, how can we write off your dog? We're always looking to work with you. All right, whether you're an Advantage client or a compliance client. The difference is what's included and what's not included. Now, what's never included, and this is just as important to talk about, what's never included and what's always a separate billing engagement are basically in three categories. And they're pretty simple to discern. They are things for others. They are things that are new to the situation, or they're anything bizarre. So let me define those a little bit. You call in the first part of the conversation is, my mother is considering. Well, your mother is an other. She's not you, so she's not included in your Advantage program. Something new. You inherit a business in Milwaukee. Well, you didn't have that business when we started working together. Now you're about to, and so that's something new. That's something bizarre. We discover that you're the only place in the world outside of Wakanda that actually has vibranium on it, that we can mine. So that's something bizarre. Those things would be separate billing engagements, not included in your Advantage program. They could be going forward. We could reform your Advantage program, so that includes those things. But at that point, the point at which they get introduced into the situation, they are a separate billing engagement. Now, with all that, you get to decide. You always are in the driver's seat with how you want to work with us. And you get to decide if you're going to work with us or we're going to work for you. All right. You get to decide, how we're going to write off your dog, or if you're going to always, after the fact, ask those questions. And you get to decide if you're an Advantage client or a compliance client. And the reason you get to decide that is it's not our job to tell you who you are, what you want. That's your job, is to determine those things. So as you're thinking about the relationship and the engagement with us, think about these things. The next step of this process is you're going to have an individual video conference with one of us, and we're going to talk about your history. We're going to talk about your specific needs, your specific desires, what you're after. And then we're probably going to ask you to provide some of that history to us, a couple of back year's tax returns, or a short list of, these are the concerns I have right now and the problem I'm facing. And then we'll look at that and determine, what your compliance price would be and what your Advantage price would be. And then you get to decide, who am I going to be? Am I going to be a compliance client or an Advantage client? And at that point, we begin the process. So with that, thanks for investing the time. Appreciate you taking the moment, to share with us and to understand the philosophy behind how we do what we do. We look forward to talking to you again soon.